Welcome in when you all get in. Welcome in when you all get in. We are doing a bit of a donation Q&A stream just to see what all people are needing questions and answers on, really. And also because I'm in need of funds for extra things going on in the background. So if you have any, not all questions have to be paid, obviously, but it is a call out too. So y'all have any questions? Ask them out. Don't be afraid of asking any sort of question. We'll answer them. You don't have to donate, but if you do want to donate, the donation links are in the description. Welcome in when you all get in. It always does baffle me that whenever I do these Q&A streams, how many people actually don't ask questions, and then they then talk about not being able to have questions answered. They have questions they want to ask, but yet they still don't ask them. It's like, do you have a question? This is the space. This is the space for it. I made time in my schedule. I made a gap in my schedule to answer questions. So now is definitely the time. If you're one of those people that's like, I need a sign from my guides or from God to tell me that I can ask questions, this is literally your sign. It can't get any more obvious. You're good, Ian. No worries. I appreciate that you stopped in and gave me the update, though. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I started working on them a little bit more today. Surprisingly, so I'm glad that things are working on that same wavelength there. Let me get this going. Shadow work is just all about looking at the aspects of yourself that you're not seeing. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. Other people will say a lot of different things, but your shadow is just what you don't pay attention to. Your shadow is what's caused by your light, and your light is what is visibly being seen. So if you're seeing things in your reality, it's caused by something in your shadow that you need to work on to be able to move past that. And either you work on it and break that cycle, or you repeat that cycle until it breaks you. Well, that's all that shadow work is. People just make it seem like it's something deeper or more crazy because A, they want their money, or B, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Or C, they just a deceiver and want to cause confusion and illusion in the world because they are also confused. and individual. It's always important to make sure that you're on stick with your shadow work. Because it's also a bit of a contradiction to say that you ignore shadow work. Because it's not that you ignore it, it's that you just don't want to do it. Because you can't really ignore what's happening in your physical day to day life unless you're on a substance that's creating that ignorance or that uh, disassociation. But some people do. But it's important not to allow that vice to stay so permanent or even to have that vice in general because you can make it through without having a vice. It's just you become codependent on that vice and now are in debt to that vice. And the debt is you not being able to get over what created you to do that vice or use that vice in the first place. And if you're unaware of that, then you're just really in debt forever. Forever. Let's see here. There we go. I'm not really interested in building with any form of program. Simply, if people want the truth, they'll hear it. You can't program the truth. If people aren't susceptible to it because they don't want to hear it, that's fine. That has nothing to do with me. That's on them. People pull in and out of the stream of the videos all the time. People subscribe and unsubscribe all the time. It's something within them that chooses whether they stay or leave. Has nothing to do with what I'm doing. What do you mean by it's human nature not to feel pain? If that's if that would be a statement that you say, then why do humans feel pain in any amount? You know, you can stub your toe and you'll feel pain. I think that's a very human experience. The same pain you feel from stubbing your toe is the same pain you feel from a breakup. It's just digested differently because your brain will make rations out of it or rationalize it, break it down, and say, well, you weren't in a romantic relationship with that chair, so it's only going to give you like a physical pain versus, oh, you were in an emotional situation with them, so it's going to cause you that emotional pain. That makes sense to the brain because it breaks it down that way, but it's the same thing. Pain, you once you feel one pain, you feel all pain. It's just an extremity of that pain that is different. I am successful in what I'm doing. I'm reaching the people that I need to reach. I'm doing what I need to do. Success is not determined by the amount of external progress, it's the amount of internal progress. And truthfully, being in a state where I am calm, in a state where I am more relaxed and doing things that I truly enjoy, while also still keeping my pack with the government, is the fact. Welcome in, patience. I haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing? Oh yeah, Jennifer, that's a hard thing that for a lot of people to realize is like you cause everything in your life. Without you, it wouldn't have happened. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good as well, patience. Um, but you have to realize if you weren't involved in it, you wouldn't have got hurt. That's where like accountability like kind of smacks people in the face because it's like, well, you're hurt by it. So, well, I didn't do anything. So why are you hurt? Why would you have anything? That's the same thing as like because let's say you're watching like God forbid, I don't know why you would even watch that. And I love you too, Patience. We love you too. Thank you, truly and holy. Um, oh, there they are. I was about to say, where are my cards? But I got you. For that, let me answer. Let me finish my answer for Jennifer's question, and then I got you. Um, but yeah, like God forbid you're watching like a gore video and or like someone falls off a skateboard. I'll keep it simple. Someone falls off a skateboard and then you feel pain in your stomach. Even though you didn't fall off the skateboard, you did something by visually connecting to that video to cause your stomach to hurt. If you weren't watching it, that you wouldn't have caused yourself that pain. But you indulge in it for some form of entertainment. And the entertainment is given in you receive after that entertainment is that pain. That's that transaction. Though you're entertained for a while, you also end up in pain. But let me get your question real quick. So oh my lord. Uh so the tower, I'm looking right at the lightning bolt. I would say yes. Um and also with the tower, like storm, like water, like storm magic or water magic, some form of chaos, but it has to do with like storms. And that's the second time a demon of storms have come through, so people might be messing with Vipar again. Because I've been picking up a lot about Vipar. No, not not vapor, Vipar, VA. Oh my god, where? Let me go get my book. VEPAR. There we go. My brain won't work, but now it does. But where'd the book go? There it is. Here it is. Vapor. I mean, yeah. Basically, Vipar is a siren though, or a mermaid esque. So I would pay attention to Vipar because they have been coming through a lot. But they have 40. They're the 42nd spirit. Uh, a great duke of strong appearances like a mermaid. Offices governs to waters to guide ships. Yeah, at the request, exorcists can make storms appear. Can also make men die of 3 days and putrid wounds. So the three deaths, or the three non-actives happening to him, kind of relates with that. Governs 29 legions of spirits, and just signifies benevolent behavior. But Jennifer, that's the thing. We're all children when it comes down to this. We're all children. I might seem like I know a lot, and there are people that like I look at and I watch and I talk to that I'm like, I don't know fucking anything compared to you. I don't even know why. You know what I mean? Well, I mean I know why. The I don't know why does not relate to the answer, but I don't know what's going on. But you're welcome. I got you, Julia. Um, but it's like People literally don't get it. People are so stuck on like age or like I've experienced this, but have you digested that experience yet? Or how are you still experiencing it? Because a lot of people go through an experience and to this day they're still going through that experience. It's been 20, 30, 40 years and they're still experiencing the same thing. Why is that? Why would you still be experiencing something from the past if not you're stuck in the past? Mentally, physically, emotionally, however, you're stuck there. And when you're stuck there, you're unable to see past that point, which that point was trying to give you, or that situation was trying to give you the knowledge to get to where you need to be, but you don't see it that way. And your body acts like it's a blockage rather than a portal. So you end up locking yourself in. And if you're not told about it, and that's just a big spell that everyone's under, without having that actualization of things, you're stuck under that curse, that spell of Kingu, where you end up repeating things due to people, places, and things, and you keep comparing them to people, places, and things. The curse of Kingu is the curse of three. That's why you have your primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. That's why you have your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, and everything has to be in a ring of three. When we're in a realm of infinite possibilities, why is it that we are limited down to only three? Because of that curse, because we're blinded by that curse of Kingu, who was also had aspects of the moon and also aspects of Pluto at point, I believe. But I know for certain the moon. Well, if I remember correctly, I should say, not believe. Right. And that's something that less spiritually and more emotionally and mentally that you would have to work through. There's not really a spiritual workaround from it, you know. That's something that you just have to see, and it for those that can't accept the fact that it's a part of life and it's not personal and that it's not God or someone ripping someone away from you, it gets rough. But it's truly an aspect of life. It's a change. The moments that you and whichever passed over loved one you had together were learning experiences for you to use moving forward from that point. And it's that trauma of not being able to have that physical and only having that spirit sense there that really fucks with people, and it keeps them stuck in a cycle of grieving. And that's not saying that that's a bad thing either. You need time to grieve, and there's no time limit on how long grieving will take. It's just about giving yourself grace during that grieving period so that you're not beating yourself up or blaming yourself or blaming something else for that grief to latch onto to cause anger and strife. And it does get difficult. um I experienced a lot of death when I was a child. Like, I watched my brother literally lose all of his weight to a skeleton, shrivel up and die due to stage 4 cancer. He literally got married, and then the next day ended up dying. His wife woke up next to him, passed away. So I've had a lot of interesting like methods with death. There was when my mom passed away. She was in the hospital. We were all visiting her. She was fine 1 second. She went to sleep. And then my sister went in to go check on her. Like 5 minutes later, she just passed away. Um, and those experiences, though they did shake my world for a minute, and I took time to process and grieve from it. It was something that I had to sit back and see, what did I learn from them, or what could I have learned from them, or what did I need to learn from them in their life that I'm not able to digest right now or able to fully see at this moment. That's the whole part of that death, is not only do you have to witness that physical death, but then you have to go through your own mental, emotional, and spiritual death so that you're not held back from that physical death that you witnessed or heard of or went through. However, it's important to really, see that cycle and move through that way. Because death is not like an element that is supposed to hurt you or scare you away. It's a force to move you beyond measures that you had before. But it's an important thing to just sit back and realize with. And me, I've never had the experience of not being comfortable with death or not being comfortable with losing something, even if it's like not even an actual death, or just like losing a friend or something. I've never experienced the pain that causes. That's something that's just not part of what I can experience. And it's not because I don't want to, or I hide the fact. It's genuinely because I have the understanding of everything's not gonna last forever. And when things dissipate or they fade away, it's because it was time. And I really spend time cherishing and having glory towards those memories of being like, oh, I like this. That was fun. This was a beautiful moment. And literally leaving like that. Even when I remember the bad parts of things, it's like they were all good up until this one point. So I'm not ignoring that bad point, but I'm not going to let that bad point completely overshadow or blind me from the fact that there was all this good as well. And that is a skill that more people need to learn how to use. You will have a much grander experience in life doing that, because you'll see it less as, oh, things are just awful. You'll see it as like these are meant to happen. Because if you were meant to have everything forever, then man would not have lost the million-year life that they would live, or the 1,000 years of life that they had. That would still be a thing, but you know, man needed to learn that lesson that this was not going to how it's going to be forever. Due to the choices that man has made in the past, we have to heal that. You know, not by searching for some fountain of youth, but just by seeing the mistakes of our ancestors, why we are even here, not just mentally, but socially, economically, every aspect of it. Why are we here? It's because this, that, and the other. That's fine. What can I do in this time to not send any hate so that egregore will feed off of it? And what can I do to just accept things as they are? How can I not be a part of the things that I deem are not helping this world? Like a huge one is like racism. Everyone's like, oh, you're racist, you're this or that. What does it mean? Like, I don't think even people understand what it is to be racist. You'll just see someone with a Confederate flag and you'll think that they're racist. And it's like, well, if you knew who that person was and you knew what that flag was and you knew that flag was a war on America itself and that's what it was standing for, then you wouldn't be so apt to say, oh, it's just racist all the way through. Not everything you see, like racism is just a ism. It is a thing made up by man for control of the mind. It's an illness. So you really have to look at things differently and be like, even though I have had experiences with this before, it doesn't mean that this is true. It does not mean that this person that I'm meeting right now is true. A lot of people who have the Confederate flag don't agree with the slavery or racism aspect of it. They just want to follow their heritage. What's so wrong with someone wanting to have a heritage? And then you really got to think back to it. Who was the first ones to own slaves? The Africans. They had slaves way before the Caucasians did. So you really have to look at it. Is it racism or is it literally an economic thing? Is it a socialist thing? What is it really? It's not just this label. You really gotta look at these things because it's a game. No one wins the race of racism. It's just it's a simple, it's a silly thing. And then just look at all the things that have been created due to racism. A bunch of business suit people walking around taking money from people, not really doing anything other than taking that money and leaving. And it gets terrifying at some point because it's like, why are humans? I mean, well, it's because there's a lower intelligence factor that's heavily involved, and people are not intelligent, and people that are smarter than those who are not as smart will take complete advantage of them easily. It's not even hard to do. Um, but it's like, why do they stay asleep? Why do they stay in that spell for so long? See more than the good. The good can definitely confuse you. You need to see the divine in people. You need to see the love. What are they loving? What they do is what they love. What do you love? What allows a feeling to move through people? People do things to feel things. Even the feeling of not feeling things requires you to feel something. It's a process still. Like, I just like seeing their reaction. Well, that's what you got to see. What reaction are you getting? What reaction are they getting that they love to be involved in? And instead of stripping it from them, because to strip it from them would be to remove whatever's inside of them that makes them want to do that, you just remove yourself. You don't tear that person's life down, because then why would you tear someone's life down for what they love? You need to move on with yours. Be more strategic about it than just, oh, I have to tell people about what they've done and blah blah blah. All that does is create ammo for other people that you're going up against. You need to be strategic about it. Just remove yourself. Observe how they act and how people around them act so that you know yourself who's doing what and how to avoid it. Like, you're tired of meeting like the same people all the time. Then what are you doing around those same people? What activities are you all doing? What's the location like? Where are you at? Stay away from those areas, and then you won't involve yourself around those people because those people migrate towards those areas. The same people that go like bird watching is, oh, we got to go over to this area to see these birds. Okay, you got to go over this area to see these types of people on a varying degree, from extreme to non-extreme to in the middle to warm to cold, however, right? And that's how you see it. So be aware of these things. Be super aware of these things because the answers are all around. You just got to be open. You just have to truly be open. And it's hard to be open in a world that forces you closed because we're in boxes all the fucking time. If we weren't living inside boxes, I think it'd be way easier to be open. Unfortunately, everyone wants to be in a bigger box. Why do we want to be in a bigger box? It doesn't make sense to me. You already have a huge box in your head called your brain. Your mind will trap you in way faster before anything else will. So you gotta be attentive. You just gotta pay attention. Be aware. But yeah, does anyone else have any questions? They could be tarot card questions. They could be questions about tarot cards. They could be questions about spirituality. They could be questions about actuality. It could be questions about this reality. And that is what I'm here for during this time, is to answer these questions. And I'll probably only be here for like another hour because I got to go to the healing classes today and run those. Which, if you want to be part of the healing classes, you just need to donate $10 to the Cash App, Venmo, Chime, or Wise account that I have in the description. Or if you're on TikTok, just email me and I'll send you the information. Because that happens at 5 p.m. EST, for those that didn't know, and it ends this month, so we're about over with them. And they will be coming on again. I'm just not too sure when, but I have a better idea of how to run them. It's less about being patient. A lot of people like to say it's patience. It's really less of that. It's just knowing. Because patience is waiting. And I'm not really waiting. I'm explaining, I'm active, I'm doing. And I know that some people are gonna catch on quicker than others. And I'm not really waiting on anyone in particular. I'm just doing. So it's less of patience and more of just explaining it in a way where people can grasp it, or at least attempt to grasp it, or to feel like they grasp it, or whatever they need. Because I talk about all sorts of stuff. There's just certain days where it's not talked about as deep because no one's brought anything up that deep, and that's fine. So you just run with it. Hmm. Yeah, I'll be back. I think like two more times. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes that I wrote. I'm gonna be back two more times, which is gonna be fun. And that's the thing. There is no beginning. Once you jump into class, that's where you really begin. Because it's not like the healing classes are rated on like how much you've healed or however. It's just to bring awareness to what needs healed. Because I can't sit around and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna heal you." No, I can't. But I can 1,000% make it aware, or make you aware, or make you see things that you would need to heal from, and hold a space to talk about it openly, so you can see yourself what you need to heal from. Because that's all anyone can do as a mirror. But we do go over some in depth things. We do have PDFs running through it. It can and does and will seem a bit over people's head at times, but we do end up talking about it in ways to help people grasp it easier. So it's not all bad. It's not scary or anything. It shouldn't be scary. Though it is to some people. But the the next stream is going to be real fun. We're going to talk about angel numbers and see how many people know about those. So I got questions for people who got angel numbers on the mind. I got questions on top of questions on top of questions that I just want answers for. Mm-mm-mm. You gotta take care of yourself. It's good. Everyone should want to grow. That's part of the human experience. To not grow would to be a removal of that experience. So you really got to make sure and check yourself. Are you growing or are you stagnant? And are you growing properly? Are you growing more anger in you? Or are you growing more confusion in you? What is growing inside of you? And that's the important part. Why be sorry for something that you don't know or that you're confused on? Don't be sorry about it. That's not going to do anything for you. You got to find out what's actually going on. And are you just following something because someone else said it? Or, do you actually have a system that truly works? It's a whole thing. It also matters where the concept started of whatever it is. Is it an internal concept? Is it an external concept? Is it a Western, Eastern, a Middle Eastern, European? Like where did it originate? What happens with it? Where does it go from where it started? How did it come to be? I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of angels do not want humans to live anymore. They would rather see these humans get blown up and just be like, you know what, we're never doing this again. This is one of the worst decisions I think we've ever had. That's how some of them really did think. And, you can see that within the 1/3 that's still, you know, there's half of the third, or around half of the angels in heaven that are like, nah, fuck these people. And then half of the angels that are on earth that fell or descended with Shaitan are the same way. And then some of the angels that didn't do anything, and they're just kind of stuck in the middle. They feel the same way. That's why it says the angels don't like man because of their free will. It's not because they have free will, it's because they don't know what the fuck to do with it. They use their free will for ignorance rather than knowledge, and they just go around doing dumb shit. And it's like, why are you doing this? But people want to imagine angels being like babies with wings and stuff like that, and it's like, no. Or they want to imagine them with like a bunch of eyes on them. No. Because then you look at the visions that Ezekiel had. You know what some people call the headlights of cars, their eyes. So why do we assume that it's like an angel with a bunch of eyes and not see what else it could be that are descending from the heavens with gusts of wind and singing choirs? People only use the words they know to describe the things that they witness, especially back then because they didn't have anything to compare it to. So what's really going on with that? Is it truly just a being that they're seeing, or is it a ship? Is it what's going on? You really got to take time to see these things. You really got to take time to ask yourself these things, because if you don't, you're just walking around blind in some form of blind faith or fake belief or blind belief because you depend on another to give you those answers instead of going out and doing that searching yourself and then putting it to the test. Some things work for some people, other things don't. That's why I don't like the people who are like, "Oh, this is your reading. You don't even know my fucking name. How do you think it's my reading?" And is it my reading because of an egoic standpoint, or is it my reading because it's actually my reading? And who do I need to go to test to see if it's my reading? Who do you worship? Who are you giving your thanks to? Incoming statement: God. Okay, which God? The heavenly God? Which heavenly God? That's when they start getting real confused. What do you mean, which heavenly God? The Most High. Which Most High? Just the Most High? Well, if I go to the 99 names of God or Allah, which one out of these 99 are you going for here? Because the most exalted, because the high. Oh God, people would hate talking to me about when they say Most High, and a lot of people already do. Because I will ask you question after question after question about it. Because you gotta know who you're talking to. Which Elohim? Which of the Elohim are you talking about? Because Elohim is plural. It's Elo, Elohim, Elohua, uh, Elohua, and Elohua or Hua, and then you have the Elohim. So what are you talking about? Where are we starting? Where do we need to go? Since you know about God so much, I know God. Okay, where we talk? Which God are we talking about? We're talking about Elohim, Elohim, at Elo himself. What's going on? Or the Elos? Well, come on, we gotta talk about it. We gotta figure out where you're coming from. But people don't look at it that way. They just want to say God. Okay, cool. Well, then you're really just lost because you could be saying God, and then there'd be a million fucking ears listening in, and it's like they just said God. Who wants to go down there? I will, and then well, you didn't get who you thought you got. You got someone though. I want you to think about that. The wheel of God. What does the wheel do? It spins. Why does the wheel need to spin? For some mode of transportation. Don't let the westernized images that they place in your head, or like what they say, oh, this is an orifime, it's just a big circle with a bunch of eyes. That's a man-made image based off of descriptions that we know now, not based off of what they seen back then. So how do you know what you're seeing is a true representation rather than just a representation of your mind that's just trying to make sense of what you've seen or what you are trying to accomplish or see? You got to make sure of these things. Is it an illusion, or is it your brain protecting you from seeing something in a truer light? Or is it what you've seen? Those are all questions for you to delve into with the knowledge and doing research and knowing things. Being outside of that box, being away from these curses and spells that are put on you by religions and by imagery, so you're not trapped in that web. Well, that's the thing. You really gotta make sure what you're doing is what you're really doing. Are you lighting a fire or are you starting a fire? What's going on? And how is it going on? We're like, when people talk about, oh, I'm been saved, I'm glad, but by who? Who saved you? Which one saved you? By which book? By which denomination? By which non-denomination are you saved by? Okay, you know, you have to get down and ask yourself these things, because if you, I'm just saved by God, cool. That tells me absolutely nothing, because I'm not like you. I'm not gonna just fall for the, oh, it's God type thing. Which God? Was it about like a few gods? Did like two or three of them save you, or is it just one? Was it Eliwan? Was it Anu? Was it Adonai, which is a demon? People go like, Adonai, okay, you worshiping a demon. Awesome. No, that's one of the names of Jesus. Oh yeah, the Messiah, the messenger. Jesus was the messenger, so one of the messengers. Yeah, yeah. Demons are messengers too. What do you think the fucking serpent was in the in the Garden of Eden? That was a messenger. He gave a good message. He said, "You're not gonna die if you eat from the tree." He gave that message, and it was accepted. But people don't know these things, and they say, "I was saved by the Lord." So you were saved by Baal, the demon, the Lord of hell, the Baal, him. That's who you say. Okay, I was saved by the Lord Jesus. Okay, the Lord Messiah Baal, the Lord Messenger Baal. Awesome. I'm glad to know that's who saved you. I'm not gonna keep you from saying things like that, but I just want people to know. What are you saying? Do you know what you're saying? Do you know what these titles and ranks mean? You have to know. You have to do that studying. You have to see it. And you can't just read the damn Bible without knowing Aramaic and Hebraic or Hebrew, because literally those two languages are the holy languages, or the languages that the God and angels speak. So if you can't speak those languages and you read a Bible or a book that was written in those languages and translated, you're going to get the wrong translation, which happens a lot, which is why the Bible contradicts itself, because it doesn't know how to fucking translate words. The people that fucking translated it did not care, or they did know, and they just still didn't give a fuck about it. However, well, God is not a religion. It's a stature. It's a status. God is actually a race. When you get down and down into it, when you really look at it, God is simply just a race. Just like man is a race, just like dog is a race. Like you say, gods and goddesses. Okay, why does it in the Bible say man? Because the species is called man when it fell from the womb. You say dog. You don't say male dog, female dog. You say this is my dog. He is a boy or a word or a girl or a word. I hope your dog's not a word. It'd be crazy. But that's just what people got to become more aware of in this time. What words are you saying? And why do you say them? People aren't comfortable with that yet, though. Some people aren't. And the ones that are comfortable with it, they either don't talk about it or they do. And if they do talk about it, are they talking about it the right way? And are they just spewing shit out their mouth, or are they trying to teach and ask questions to get people's brains moving? Because you're the greatest teacher to yourself. Only you can teach yourself new things. What the fuck is going on? Work. Okay, you're always gonna do that. That's actually like crazy. Whatever. But you just gotta know. You just gotta know. And if you don't know, that's okay. But are you going to attempt to try and learn? Or are you just gonna sit where you're at? Both answers are okay. Just be okay with the result that comes from it. If Armageddon happens tomorrow, and apparently you've been worshiping a god that's a gigantic reptilian, you better be okay with that. Because if you go, oh, I don't want to, I don't worship you. I'ma kill you then. Bye. If you ain't, you gotta be serious with this shit, dog. I've sat and thought about this stuff way too much. Because they said God made us from everything. God's part of everything. Do you know what that would look like? Have you sat down? If God is everything, I want you to just imagine the conglomerate being that you're talking about. Real quick, just really quick. And if your God is all seeing, all knowing, I want you to just sit with that and then ask yourself why in the Bible God had to come down to earth to see the tower. Like, what the fuck? Why are y'all building a tower? If you're all seeing and all knowing, why are you asking me if I'm why I'm building a tower? You should know, shouldn't you? The fuck? But again, these are questions that people won't dare. It's like, oh, now you talk. Now you're just being blasphemous. No, I'm not breathing inward and speaking. I'm asking questions because they need to be answered, and they should be answered. And then you get called a demon. You talk about God too much, then they call you a demon. So I'm gonna call everyone a demon that they talk about God too much. I'm just kidding, but like that's the logic that a lot of these people have. Like, how dare you question God? How dare you tell God to give you something? What the fuck? He gave you life. Was that not enough? Greedy, like you greedy as fuck. Well, God says that I was gonna get this. You're greedy as hell. You already got that, don't you? Didn't you get that last time you asked for it? Why you want it again? Last time I asked God for money, He gave me this much. I'm asking God again for money. Why? Why are you using Him? I thought you loved Him. You just using Him for money now? What is He, your fucking sugar daddy or something? What the fuck's wrong with you? You really gotta see this stuff. It is crazy to me. And then like, you're not ever supposed to question God. And then it's like, God, why did you take my baby away? Don't question. Shut up. Don't question it. God, can you? God, I just want to know why all these issues on Earth are happening. Don't fucking question me, bitch. I told you in my book not to question me. There you go, question me. That's why you don't get good things. It's like, well, I just wanted to know. It's like, well, go figure it out. But people don't look at it that way. People, I get it though. You gotta have comfort in whatever you're doing. And if you're not comfortable to look at it, then it's fine. Because it's not me. So it's fine. That's why I say it's fine. Is it really fine? No. Because there's going to be a lot of people crying in the end, like weeping. And it's just like, why did this happen? Because you didn't pay attention whenever I brought my messengers down to ask you, to bring messages. And, I brought my seekers down and my prophets and my oracles down, and y'all just literally didn't pay attention to them. So, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Shit, I gave you how long? Damn. But I mean, it's how it's gonna be, and no one can change it. No amount of fear will change it. Trust me. Some people say, "Well, if I wasn't scared, I would." No, that wasn't fear, honey. That was called motivation. You were motivated in that moment. Well, that's the whole thing. Knowledge is power. So when you have knowledge and you withhold it from someone, you hold power over them. What do you think? What do you think whatever God was at the Garden of Eden was doing to Adam and Eve? Like he knew, like I knew y'all weren't gonna like actually die if you ate that fruit. But since you disobeyed me, I'm cursing you. What the fuck does that what? The snake told us that we could eat it. Oh, you listen to the snake? Snakes are evil. Well, we didn't die. Now you're cursed. What the fuck? You said you didn't die, right? So now I'm gonna curse you. What the fuck does that even get out of here? Like look at it. Don't look at it from a dogma perspective of fear. Look at it like actually. The serpents, it don't matter about the imagery, bro. You got to see what works they do. That's the best of it. Seeing what works they do. Well, they tell you not to question because they don't know how to slow things down. They wouldn't know how to actually break the things that they're trying to talk about down. And that's why people tell you not to question them. They don't have the answers. So why would you question it? I've been told by pastors that the book of Revelations is too complicated, so they didn't go into it. No, the book of Revelations is a prophetic book. It's a very easy book to understand. It just says not to make anything up about the thunders. Those are hidden things. Don't talk about them. Don't reveal them. Lock them and seal them up. So then you got people talking about, oh, this is what the thunders mean. You're going to put people in hell. Shut the fuck up. Get out. Like, don't talk about it. It says not to talk about it. Test the damn spirit. Yeah, there's ways to. The book it's just a book of prophecies, which a lot of them have come to pass. That's it. That's truly it. Read Malachi 1:1. That's why the Quran was written. Malachi 1:1. These stupid idiots didn't hear what I said the first time. I gotta come down and do it again. I gotta come down and another prophet has to fix this up. Because people just be saying shit. And then it got fixed again and people still don't know. Whenever people should know. Well, they will only know as much as they want to know. They will only know as much as they want to receive. But yeah, I'm gonna head off of here. I'm gonna get things ready for that healing class. If you're interested in healing classes or tarot classes or any of my services, email me and we will work everything that we need to work out. But thank you all for being here. I'll be back later. Then I'll be back later after that. Um, I'm starting to make schedules now. Um, to be more organized with this because this new path I'm walking, it requires a new discipline on me because I'm doing a lot more and needing to be on my feet a lot more than usual. Not physically though, and spiritually and mentally. But I will see you again, and then again and again. But I love you all so much. Thank you all for everything. The likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations. I truly appreciate them all. Um, and again, in any stream that I'm doing, which is why I do streams, is so I can answer questions. So if you have questions, even if it's a little off topic of what we're talking about, and you just like, let me ask this question. If I don't know the answer to it at that moment, I'll tell you I don't know. If I do have the answer, we'll talk about it. But don't be afraid to ask questions. That's the whole point of the streams. That's why I do the streams. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace in the Lamb. It is truly wonderful. Hadis Ashug Wadu.